So this video series, along with several others that I'm doing, are about Tom Parker. Dries van Kalk is his real name. Andreas Cornelius van Kalk, from Breda, Netherlands. Some people would say Holland. If you are a Colonel hater, that's fine. Quit watching the video, move on, find something else to do. This is not about hating on the Colonel. This is about learning more about the Colonel. If all you can do is hate, quit watching, move on. If you put negative comments on this video, you are out of here, just like an umpire calling a strike. Move on, find something else to do. Enjoy this series. If you want to learn more about the Colonel, where he came from, his background, this is how you do it right here. I have this and a couple of other series coming up. Thank you so much for watching. All right, so this street is Vlasic Street. According to some things that I found about this particular area, this particular street, if you look at this photograph, it says Vlasic 18. That was the house of Dries, Andreas. Then it shows the Harmony that I'm going to show you a photo of in a moment. And this is the back side of them. So I'm going to see, we're going to go in this alley and see something, but I want you to know, if you were here, I believe that his house would have been right about right here. This would have been the front. So what we're mixing up is, we're getting two things mixed up. I think that they're getting that building over there that I will show you in a moment, the New York building that has New York written on it, the clothing company, is facing the other street. His address faced this street, Vlasic. It was there, and the Harmony building was next to it, and there's things in their book I shouldn't say in their book, there's things when he did the interview with, when Angelo did the interview with the sister, she mentioned that they loved the dance hall that was next door. And if you look in this photograph, you will see that the dance hall actually says the word, let me find the picture. Harmony. You see it says Harmony in the middle. I believe that was a dance hall. They said that that was like a practice place, would be one word for it. So I believe that this building was where he lived. The stable downstairs, you can see the big doors, the house upstairs. Next door to it was the thing that his sister described that they lived in, or that they would snuggle up against a wall at night so they could hear the music, because music wasn't plentiful. No boom boxes, no iMusic, no iPads, no nothing, no iPhones. It was only music that people made during that time. Recording and selling records was relatively new at the time. So that used to be right there. In fact, I'm going to try to get a different angle on it. Look at this crazy thing. It looks like a person upside down, and it looks like a cow the right side up. But I believe that what you see right there literally used to be right there and right there. So this building, that building was right there. This building that you see here was somewhere in here, and the road was where the sidewalk is. So back in the day, this that you see that's split out now into a park, there was buildings here as well, and I believe that building right there is one of them. But you can see how large the doors are right there, and then that was the building. So there was an alley there, and you could see that building is offset to that building. So this one sticks out more. So that one clearly would stick out more. That one would be further back. I believe that the house was a hair further back than this, but the front door would have been somewhere like there, and it would have been longer. So it may have been the distance from there to maybe here, and then the Harmony in the middle was a music hall. And what he said was that this building was like multi-purpose. It looked like a bunch of businesses, and you can see there's 3 doors. So maybe there's a small office, and the back door was the dance hall, or the middle door is the dance hall in the back, or it could have been large, and that stairway up to the dance hall on the top floor. That's very possible. So that happened right here. So we're going to go down this alley and look at the other place. Stay tuned. So I'm going to walk across the street and let you look back so you can you see there's a street lamp on the other way, and it looks like a road through here. So it could have been like this was the street. That building would have been somewhere in there, and then you can see there's a path through. So the street light would have been somewhere right over in there. So let's walk to the back and see if we can do some picture comparisons back there. And I'm also going to look for, you see right there is a little tiny tip of an A. If I'm lucky, that building is still back here. It is not. All these buildings are new. Every one of them are brand new. So I was told it was that way, but you can see that that building right there looks like it's got some age on it. Let's see if we see it in the photograph. Stay tuned. So based off of this, if you look, you'll see they're saying that this was his house right here. That was the house next door with the Harmony in it. And you can see that off the back there was but in the offset where I said there was an alley, it looks like there was a house. So I think maybe the house would have been built in this little crevice right here, kind of back from the street. But it appears to me that this, I believe that this is that. In fact, I'm not even far enough back. Let me get further back. There's a tree here. I think this is that. So if you can imagine, it looks like that's saying that's the Holland Casino right there. So I think that church right there was not there at the time. So you could see through to the Holland Casino building, which it wasn't the Holland Casino back then. But before that was there, you could see straight through. So let's go look and see how old that church is. Stay tuned. They keep bringing up this building. I don't know what that is unless maybe he worked here. They say that this could have been part of the shipping company. Maybe the shipping company part was here and the stables were here where they kept the horses and the buggies, and they lived in it, which would make sense for them to be back to back. I believe that that is more likely what it is. I was told that it was that grass, this area here, but the address is on Vlasic. It's on that street. So it makes more sense for it to be here and back up to here and have an alley between where you can go back and forth and pick up your stuff and ship and move out. And then there would have been an alley through here because that church was not there, I believe, at the time. Let's go see if we can find the age on it. Stay tuned. When you walk around with a camera, you get a lot of looks. And that's what I'm looking for, friends. I need a lot of looks. I want you to look at that video. So there is the building that you can see. That is the casino. So let's look at the photograph again. Back then it clearly was not a casino. That is that building right there, is what they say. So let's go see if that matches up. So friends, it's becoming more clear. You can see from this building right here, because of the trees we couldn't see it. But when you look at that building, you see that part of the roof right there. You see that part. There they are right there. You see all of that. So the answer is that the house was actually on Vlasic. So this street where it's split is not right. So the house is in here where it got torn down. So if you were going to go from this angle, because the trees are up, I'm going to have to do it like this. You can't see the front door. Well, yeah, you can too. You could see the top of the front door. You see this part in the photograph, the very top of it right there. You see the edge of that. So let me get it the right angle. So if you did that, that would put the house somewhere right over here. So that other place may have been the main part of the business. We're going to try to base it off of the top of the door. I'm going to see if I can get where I can see the door from back here and see if we can get a better angle. So all of this has been, it's just like almost everything else, just not quite there, not quite correct. So that church is definitely old enough to have been here in the 20s and 30s. So it was here. Or in the 20s, I should say. So if you come back here and you look, you can see the top of the door. So now you see the top of the door right there. And if you were to look straight up, you'd see that just to the right of the door. So the doors, let me zoom. Come on, camera. So if you can imagine the door right there, and you look at the distance, the relative distance is not really that far. So the answer is that house was somewhere right along in here. And Blazek Street was right here. So that would have been the back of the house. So see, it looks like to me that this was like covering up, because this is shaped like a V. You see how it V's out and goes that way? I think this was from a vantage point of maybe this little cross street. So you could see the door down there, which is right there. And I'm sorry, the light is low. This thing's not doing a great job of focusing. You see the door right there. The door is directly in front of us right now. I'm gonna zoom. That's the door that you see. This distance is close to right. So he would have lived somewhere right in here on this side. Now they're making a claim that he had something to do with that business, that if you go down that alley and turn, you can see it right there. And then that means that right here, let me cross over. That means that this photograph would have actually been, and naturally, I've seriously got a car parking directly in front of me right at the moment. Unbelievable. So I believe that it's highly probable that that house right there that you see was actually there on the other side of that little cut through. And then this house, which was his house, would have been here. the house that they played the music in would have been somewhere right there. So we're actually, this is Vlasic Street, that is a different street over there. And you can clearly, in the back of this picture, they say that that's the back of it. And this could have been at different times now. It looks like something was built in between here, but it could have also, they're good about building tunnels too, who knows. But they're saying that this was his house, that was the Harmony house, and then that's saying the stalls for Jen and Lou's. So that would be the horse stalls, but that's definitely not on the other street over there, because you can see, you can definitely see that building right there. You can even see it from here. You could see this part of the roof right there, literally right there. So I think it's pretty clear that it was right in here. And then this part is the front. So the road would have been one lane, that would have been somewhere right there, and the street light would have been somewhere over in here. So that just kind of gives you an idea. There's no way to, the only thing that we have here to work with that we know is correct is we know that that building right there still stands right there. The rest of them do not, but you could definitely see the building through, so it would make sense for them to be right here. And they're shooting through the back over the top, and you can see that building right there. So this right here is an even better view. You see the top right there, which is that and that. You can see the top of the door. So that would have been shot from a vantage point of somewhere in here through the middle of this green to right there. Meaning the front, which is this side, would have been right about there and there. So he actually lived here on this street. That building would have been here at that time, the Holland Casino. It wasn't a casino at the time, but it would have been here. But that shows you right there is where it happened now. Now, how this other business ties into it, I don't know. I don't understand it. But they seem to think that it ties in. I'm gonna have to do some research and see if I can figure it out. And this is the corner of Bayard and Vlasic. So this street is considered Bayard. That street is considered Vlasic. But I want you to see, and I know the wind's blowing, I'm sorry. They're saying that that building over there that building right there is somehow tied into the Colonel. Come on, why is this thing doing that? They say that building right there is somehow tied into the Colonel when he actually didn't live there, he actually lived there. Because you can see where the vantage point that I'm at now is too far back in the picture. It's too far from that building. So there you go, friends. So friends, I hope that I can not make this story very fragmented feeling. Although it is sort of fragmented, I'm at a disadvantage. When I'm in America, I have the opportunity to go to a place multiple times, research, go back, research, go back, research, go back. This is my third time here. And it took 3 times for me to realize that it was actually here, not there, not in the alley over there. It was actually here that this happened at. But I'm going to do my best to put all this together where you can understand it. And I don't know what the tie-in is with this building over here. I want you to see it again. But everybody is making this out to have some sort of a tie-in. And it could be MBT, Munchausen by Tom. Or let's call it MVP, Munchausen by Parker. How about that? Yeah, so if you hear me say somebody's MVP, They're not most valuable player. It's Munchausen by Parker. But it may be that this was the shipping, it was a shipping company his dad worked for that was like UPS, DHL, FedEx. So it may be that this was the main office and the stables were over there. And I would even say that this alleyway was probably very much here, where you could go from there over to right over there to the stables. So somewhere over there in that area, and I think we've pointed out that it's definitely further over to the right, because it had to be closer to that building. So let's look at the front. I'm almost done, friends. I fly out not tomorrow, but the next day. I think this is Sunday, so I have one more day. I'm not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow yet. I may try to go back to Bad Nilham. I've got a couple of shots that I could get there, and then I'm done. So this is the front of that building that they're saying had something to do with Parker, but I think it may have been his dad. And at one time there was a plaque here. Plaque's gone. This new company, Pen and Ink New York, didn't want anything to do with it, so they took it down. So there you go. All right, I finally got my lineup right. This is Bostrat. He lived down there on the left-hand side after his dad passed away, or the family did. With his dad, he lived right there where those trees are. It was that close together. You see the trees. You see Bostrat, they move right down there on the left-hand side with his mother and all of his siblings after his dad passed away. So that close together in Breda, friends. In fact, only here could you have the tree signs on two different parts of the, there's Vlasic. There's Vlasic right there on that street. And here's Bostrat right here. So they lived on this side of Vlasic. That's not Vlasic going that way. There's the park. So to get here, you come through the park. You come from the train station, you come through the park to the big monument in the middle. You stay left, you come out there. This is Vlasic. There's the trees, the edge of it. He lived right around the corner, and he also lived down this street. So if you want to see those two things, it's that simple. So to give you some points, that is where the monument is, right at the front of the park. That's where I ate there. That's that little restaurant. It'll be on your left. You come straight down here. You go through that red gate. You go right around the corner. Vlasic is straight. Bostrat is to your left. It's that simple to get to. So this is another point. Train station, monument, the sandbox and stuff, the restaurant's there. You stay left, red gate, Vlasic, Bostrat, just that simple. If you want to see William of Orange's castle, you go that way. It's right over there. Just know when you come off the train at Breda, you always go to your left. That's how you get to where the park and all that stuff is. Nothing of Tom Parker's is to the right in the train station. If you want to support this effort, make sure that you subscribe, like, and then join. That helps us to get more videos out there. Yes, it does.